I've newly joined Philips India, that's Health Tech Division. So it's a PIC campus in Manyata Tech Park in Bangalore. Right now I'm based in Bangalore, so the opportunity was quite closer to me. And the current role is a senior data engineer. So the interview process started around half of the in the end of the November, and then slowly it moved ahead with 4 rounds of interviews, and then after clearing that, there's a joining letter that I have received the offer from the Philips. So the current role is based on a team named ROCC. ROCC is a part of Philips organization. It's a division called Radiology Operation Command Center. So Radiology Operation Command Center is something, as Philips is very well known across the globe for its health tech division. So I am also a part of it right now. So what ROCC does is to have a crisp idea about the project, because as I cannot explain in detail of the project as per the internal policies. So I just have a crisp idea, if you have ever kind of visit to doing a kind of lab work like CT scan or MR. So what we used to do, we see lots of technicians inside the lab, and those technicians is to help you to do your kind of testing part. So what happens in here in a radiology part, it's under radiology it comes CT scan, MR test, all kind of testings with your health divisions with the different hospitals and nursing homes across the globe, like famously known as Apollo, and also there is Practo. So these are famous health divisions. So I have started my journey, I have completed my +1 and +2 in Vizag, Visakhapatnam. It's Vikas Vidyaniketan, and then I have moved there. From there, I have moved to SRM University, Chennai. I have completed my BTech on Electronics and Communication from the year of 2010 to 2014. And then I got an on-campus job in TCS Tata Consultancy Services as Assistant System Engineer role. So since then, my work started there as a assistant system engineer, but mostly the work was the project was a kind of that time the basic analytics are slowly coming to the industry. So the project comes with the SQL, Excel sheet, Microsoft Excel analytics, and data mining and web scraping. So that was the role initially. And then after working there for one year and 2 months, I have moved to Huawei. So Huawei Technologies India Private Limited. I have joined there. It's called Big Data Engineer team. So there, the basic role was initially to collect the data, and after the analyzation, take the data and use your creativity to tell a story on that particular data model that you are using. And that was the initial role. And then it slowly started moving ahead with the MapReduce work. MapReduce is a part of big data thing. I was later introduced to INSEAD. So in INSEAD, that time I was working with Huawei. So in INSEAD, I have started a course. There's a webinar, and in that webinar, it really attracted me because the most precious part in INSEAD that I have felt last year, you have an opportunity to do a course that is a platform that you're working on. That is, my platform was telecommunication, and that was a telecommunication analytics. So right now INSEAD is offering. After that, many of the organization was offering, but I think first I heard about INSEAD. So INSEAD was doing a great job on that part. So it's a telecom analytics. So that attracted me a lot. Then I joined a program called Data Science and AI course together with INSEAD, parallelly working with Huawei That time I was working with a data engineer kind of role. So in data engineering, then I used to do kind of modeling and all. And the first part, my first mentor was Dipesh Wadhani. A great thanks to him. He made a kind of interest to the students, and he's a very young teacher and very ignited, with his passion about data science. And after that, Mr. Dr. Darsh Ingle was there as a mentor. Suchit was there. And so I can't, my words will fall short of to tell about them, because they were kind of person, and there are lots of webinars went with INSEAD that I didn't find to any of the organization that with those webinars, actually, it boosted up a lot. It boosted up a lot to understand that what is the industrial requirement actually. And slowly I prepared for that. And at this moment, like 2020, it's been around going to be 1.5 years that I'm with Insight to learn, because my courses is still going. I have upgraded myself with a postgraduate program, data science and AI course as well. So right now I'm doing that. There's a good strategy that was given by that Manjusha and Suchit, that for the every interview, I'll tell you the secret of that, what I have done actually. So for the every interview, I have jotted down the questions and I have found answers. And the questions, the programming language, and Python, SQL, and everything. And it helped me a lot, because when I was just going to the next interview, for the next company, I was just brushing it up all, so that I'm having a kind of whole idea of that particular subject. And that was Majumdar, and it helped me a lot. And I'd say that Philips was that is a result of another thing that I struggled, and I have jotted down for those things. Okay, right now, actually, first time I was introduced to this data science, because in 2014, back then, there's a company called Mu Sigma. So, because I'm a kind of background from electronics and communication, and the person of my first mentor, as I told, Dipesh Wadhani, Dipesh was a background with the mechanical engineering. So as you see that there is no engineering termed as a data or data science, other than computer science is all about programming. So data science is something beyond of your creativity, and which never comes right now, not only in India, across the globe, called a separate engineering stream called data engineering, right? So data engineers, you can find many times, many people switch their career. So back then in 2000, when I looking for a job from my college, so a company came, Mu Sigma, and Mu Sigma was looking for people with a role of data science with a 3 years contract, probably. I can't remember at present. So that time many people got offer, and to be honest, most of the people from mechanical background, they have not computer science and electronics. So the requirement was starting with aptitude test and a very basic C++ programming. So that time we never knew what the data science could bring us in the future, maybe in 2020 or 2021. So right now we are all going ahead for looking for a job in data science or data engineering, maybe in ML engineer, AI engineer, like that. To be honest, for the background, as I say, like from the electronics background, the first 2 years I was not very much exposed with the proper data engineering session. And later part, I have upgraded myself, as I mentioned before, that I have joined few of the courses, and I was doing till now, even I have a zeal to do masters. So the inspiration to do data science is like not from the beginning, but later part, due to the requirement of my job, I have started doing. But as you are probably the people, whoever listening to this conversation, maybe from a different background, maybe from business area, maybe from commerce, maybe from biotech, because even in my team, I think I found, even in the same batch, I found a person who's an astrophysicist, and she is doing she's doing her master's, and in the master's she was also doing kind of data science course. So data science is right now, currently the whole industry is moving at in a kind of revolution that is going to aim for 2030, that everything going to change with the analytics and the artificial intelligence. So here I would say that first thing you do, that it's not about mathematics. It's not about something that you have to learn beyond of it. It's something that you have to think analytically. For example, if there is a apple, so a seller is selling apple, and later part, for example, here, leave about that apple. Here in a canteen, I have seen there is one small canteen they have opened very new, just last week. And in the evening, they don't have snacks. They have just tea, and they are selling that time right now. But in the evening time, that office goers, and they're just coming back, and they're just looking for if dosa is available or not, if bonda is, all these snacks are available or not. They are not having that time. Slowly, they have started with dosa, and right now they have opened a chart that, okay, evening snacks are available. So you see how they're growing. Their growth is depending on the feedback that their requirement is coming to them, and they started working on it. So data science and all these data fields are like that. So the growth you need. So you're looking data science because of the mind of your analytics, because of the that industry right now needs data scientists or data engineers. How did you know about it? Because of that you did a kind of survey, and that survey resulted to force you to do that. So this daily to daily life or everyday part of yours that needs to get some extent to understand the feedback. So I believe that data engineering and data scientist is also not about programming. It's also not about mathematics, because programming anyway you learn. For example, till now I was learning SQL and PostgreSQL, MySQL, but something I newly came about like KQL. It's something still I'm learning about. KQL is something new to me in Azure that I mentioned in the project just before the conversation. So it's something new. So everything, mathematics and everything you learn, but the most thing you learn about to be very analytical, about the data you are getting, not the data from the industry or from your work, the data your daily to daily life, the feedback that you are getting. So I would say that should be your first inspiration to learn about this subject, because this subject is fun. It's not very much theory that you have to remember and write down in your exam paper. It's something that you just get it from the fun prospect and you just learn it. So that should be your first inspiration. And the second inspiration, I believe that I think that is the main requirement right now in the industry. And I believe that every ship without any direction is nothing. So for that, I just chose INSEAD, and INSEAD, I never could expect it, that INSEAD helped me a lot in this part of learning that data science, because data science, it's not, as I said, it's not only learning, it's about fun, it's about all the events that helped me a lot in INSEAD. It's all those events that really boosting me up, and it's not about in the classroom, it's out of the classroom that happens every time. And there are few organizations, I believe, in India right now that does, and INSEAD is one of them. So I believe that should be your second inspiration. And third is, I think, as you want to get a job with a good package, I believe you should concentrate on more about not only what is you are getting spoon-fed. Spoon-feeding will not help you. You have to do all other things. You have to give your personal effort, because first, to learn about data science, to switch your career, you sit for one of the interviews that are happening for data science and understand what is their need. Then you learn slowly, and then other interviews, you go with the different interviews, you learn what is industrial requirement, because to sit and just to know or doing a course will not help you until or unless you get into the picture, get into the field and make yourself sweat. So it's all about that. I believe these three things you can follow to get through. Okay. These days, when you sit for the interviews, these days, most of the industries, I'm telling you that 15 of the other companies that I have interviewed. So the most requirements are three things. One, you have a cloud experience or not, cloud analytics. It can be any cloud. It can be Azure, it can be Amazon, AWS, it can be Google. So out of these three, you should have one, like I'm telling in the data engineer prospect, because I believe that I'll not only grow as a data scientist directly, data engineering is a first, because the part of data engineering role not only serves data engineering, it also serves partially the data scientist role, especially in India. All the industries in India, there's a little bit part that it contributes from the data science towards data engineering. You are not only a data engineer, you also have to tell a story. You also need to do a data visualization in the industry right now. So for that, you have to be creative. So it also contributes a little bit part of the data science, because the data science part in the industry right now, it includes ML, AI, everything. But data science also includes data visualization, which data engineers also are doing these days. So what happens is you should have any of the cloud knowledge. First thing. Second thing, you should have a good SQL knowledge about it, and you should have a good Python knowledge about your whatever the curriculum that you are doing. So these three things are very basic that have to be inside your resume, that have to be prepared well when you're sitting for any of the interviews, including data analytics, data science, data engineering, ML, anything. That's the first thing. And out of this, I would say Inside's Python starter kit, this helped me a lot, because Python starter kit was made by Suchit, and it started from the basics to the scratch to in and around everything of Python you will get from the Python about that starter kit. Other than that, added, I would say follow a website called Geeks for Geeks. This help you a lot, because there are lots of questions that quite compliance with the industry, because few of the companies, they ask directly from there. Few of the hackathon, because they take online challenges as well before the interview. So few of the Hacker or Hacker Rank, they take challenges from that Geeks for Geeks, and those questions are solved with accurate programming knowledge. So Geeks for Geeks are very good in website. Few of the blogs in LinkedIn, like Steve Nuri, Arjun Panwar, they are very much good, and they will provide you cheat sheet. Cheat sheet is something to brush you up very soon and very often whenever you are feeling to have a quick glance of the particular subject. It helps you. So that is the thing. So other than the cloud is something that Inside is not currently having. That is something you can learn. You can learn from Udemy, you can learn YouTube. It's everywhere inside internet that you can learn by yourself. It's not a very hard job. But other than that, the programming and the analytical mind, I'd say that like the first course of Inside was EDA. It's like explanatory data analytics that was taken by Dipesh initial days. And these are actually main things to understand in data. So EDA was taken by Dipesh, and it was taken well versed and well maintained actually. And you can learn it from there, because EDA is something that you will not be accustomed with YouTube tutorial or maybe internet tutorial. That is something you need a mentorship to guide you. So these things, EDA and machine learning, was taken by Mr. Dr. Darshan Ingle. Darshan Ingle was like, he was a genius actually, and he took the course from the basic to everything in detail. So these courses you'll get a ML AI course by Andrew Ng. Andrew Ng is famous across the globe for his AI courses, and he's a professor himself, but it still needs something to guide you, and that I received it from Inside. You have to little bit push yourself to have a kind of blogging, that what is going on currently in India, what is going on currently in the subject, in the industry, that where do you want to switch. That kind of knowledge you must have. And three things like SQL and Python and cloud is very important. Other than that, there is a separate part in SQL called analytical function for SQL, like first value, lag, lead, rank function in SQL. These are very important. The people, especially who are not in the analytics domain and who are like have a zeal to switch themselves for the data analytics, this Windows function is SQL is something that you must learn. Many places like in Kaggle you can practice. You'll get the free data source from Kaggle. You can even do online SQL and Python programming, and you can practice. So practice is the main key. Other than that, what you will practice? You will practice mainly SQL, Python, different modeling questions in a different sense, that how it is to get like we can configure, for example, palindrome, how you can program in Python. In Phyllis basic, there was a given data sets of the COVID cases. So they are asked that using the SQL analytical functions to make a dashboard, where is the maximum cases on which region and where is the less cases depending on the date. So this was the dashboard I was asked first question in the Phillips interview. So for that you need SQL analytical function knowledge. So I believe you should learn of all this together. And finally, the one key I would say that for every interview, after the interview, write down the questions and make the answers and make brush of them for every other interview that you're giving next time. I'd suggest to all the people, because I have seen people even in my batch, even in future batch, I believe that there are lots of people are struggling to switch themselves, and they're doing, because you see too many spices spoil the food, right? So you shouldn't be quite confused with lots of things that are going on in market. First, believe on what you have joined in Insight, and other than that, learn few of the dedicated blogs and dedicated channels there helping students, and like you particularly, a person who are kind of working very hard to join a data science league, data engineering league, or machine learning engineering. So do that. But you shouldn't be quite confused with different learnings, different guidance, because that's what I said, too many spices spoil the food. So you should be dedicated enough. And to be honest with you, data science or data engineering is something, it's very new to the industry. It's very new. So the people in interview who gonna ask you question, he's also together, in the learning phase of yours as the same. It's not very high, or he's not a very data scientist. Maybe he's a very skilled person because he's much more experienced than you. But knowledge wise, if you're doing a very hard work on your subject, you can know much more better. So prepare you well. You don't have to prepare over preparation, something we call. You shouldn't have to do anything, but you have to dedicatedly prepare for any of the interviews that you're sitting for, that you're looking for actually for that opportunity.